Welcome to DealTalk. I'm Michael Marzec, and today I'm sitting down with serial entrepreneur and early stage investor, Gabriela Isturiz. Gaby founded two high-growth technology businesses that she later sold to Fortune 500 companies. Last year, she co-founded the fund XX, which makes pre-seed and seed investments in women-led businesses. Gaby, welcome to DealTalk.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you for having me here today. Appreciate it.
So before we dig into the details, can you give us a quick overview of the fund XX?
Yes, I love to do that. Like you said in the intro, Mike, we are an early stage fund, VC fund, and we invest in companies at the pre-seed or seed stage, and we only invest in women-led startups. So yes.
So how much have you raised so far? Is the fund closed yet?
We closed the fund. We started the fund about like a 9 month ago. It's a small fund, so the size of our fund it's less than $5 million, and we write checks between $50,000 to $100,000, and we like to participate in rounds that are between 500,000 to $1.5 million with valuations under $10 million. So that's our sweet spot.
What's the philosophy behind those metrics, those numbers? What are you trying to find within those parameters?
Yeah, and the main reason is because we're a small fund. So because we're a small fund, we write smaller checks than a fund that can be 10 times larger than ours. And so we try to stay investing in companies that the valuation is something that is going to make sense to us. When the valuations get too great for the amount of checks that we write, the economics do not work out anymore. So that's kind of like why we decided to put a cap on the valuations.
Sure. So what types of companies are you looking to invest in?
Yeah, we already made 8 investments. We're incredibly proud of the investment that we have made, and happy to kind of share a little bit more about our portfolio composition. But the main premise is we invest in what we call tech-enabled, either technology companies or tech-enabled company. For example, a tech-enabled company could be an e-commerce platform, right? Or a direct-to-consumer that leverages technology to be able to grow and scale. But we don't have, we're vertical agnostic. So pretty much we invest, in any sector that we see there is great potential. And we like to invest in companies that, have a multi-billion-dollar market. The potential of the product, the solution, the service, it's a multi-billion-dollar market.
So, the tech space is kind of notoriously dominated by men. Something like 10% of tech CEOs are women. Does being broadening that to tech-enabled help? What are you seeing from the way of deal flow and opportunities?
Yeah, the deal flow that we're getting is something incredible, Mike. There is no shortage of deal flow from our experience. To the point that we want to participate in more, but again, right, we're limited to the size of the fund that we have, and we get a significant deal flow. Just when we launch the fund, we got about more than 280 applications for companies to invest, and that was in about less than a week. And we consistently get probably couple 3 applications a day, just for female funded in technology. So there is no shortage of amazing deals that are coming through, our desk.
That's great. Are they coming directly to you, or are they coming through some of their advisors? What's their networks that they're getting to you?
I love that because The fund execs, we are four general partners, and we each of us complement each other. So we have different networks, we have a different set of skills, and we pretty much source the deals, from our internal network. We also, being part of the fund, we have access to 9 other funds and their networks. In our LPs, our investors, and the community around our investors, and our founders, and our portfolio companies is an incredible source of deals for us. So yes, among our investors, our portfolio companies, and we partners in the fund, it's we're getting a very, very, very good deal flow. We're super happy with that because, again, right, our ability to succeed, our ability to provide the returns to our investors depends on the high quality deal flow.
So you mentioned your other general partners. What can you tell us about them?
Yes, we are four. And by the way, a little bit of on the fund, we invest all across the U.S. So our partners, Sylvia, she's in San Francisco in the Bay Area. Alison, it's in New York. And in the middle, it's myself, I'm in Pittsburgh. And Ragini, it's in Philadelphia. So we pretty much geographically, we cover the United States coast to coast. And we complement each other in terms of, skill, experiences, network, and even diverse. For example, Sylvia has an experience in DC prior to this. She's a revenue officer, executives of cloud companies. Alison in New York, she's also she's working for ABC right now. In Ragini, it's a people HR executive. So we I've been on the founder side, right? A scaling and growing company. So we bring a set unique of skills, and it's working really, really well. But I think, Mike, more importantly, we share our vision so deeply. We believe so much in what we're doing, and those are the best partners anybody can ask for.
So about 90% of your limited partners are also women.
Yes.
Why is that important to you and to the fund to have women investors?
Yeah, absolutely. Typically, even though that 50% of our population are women, right? And we make 50% or more of those economical decisions. Historically, women have been removed from investing directly, in this type of asset class. So it is important to us because we're using, the fund as a way to democratize this type of investment. Typically, when you're going to invest in a VC or you're going to invest in a private equity, it's it's pretty much reserved by family offices, right? Institutional investors, super high net worth individuals. So this option to be part of actively investing in the entrepreneurial ecosystem, it's something that is not, at the disposal of everyone who wants to get involved. So something that at the fund, a global, in something that we're doing really well, it's the minimum ticket to invest as an LP. It's at $25,000. So that makes it. It's still right. It's money, but it makes it a little bit more accessible to a population that otherwise will not have access to. And it is incredibly important because being a fund that is investing in women, having the support of our investors to also understand, the type of companies that women are building, and our LPs actively provide support to our portfolio companies, making it a very nice balance. So we're very proud. It's not something that it's very heard of. And to expand a little bit on that, Mike, typically women that get to invest in early stage companies, it's because they belong to an angel group, right? Or an angel network, right? And there are not that many also participating in this type of angel, even though that we're doing a lot better than, 5-10 years ago, women participation in angel networks. So, we provide the ideal vehicle for anybody who wants to get started in, investing in VC in early stage. Make sense?
Sure, absolutely. I really like that approach. So you mentioned earlier you've made 8 investments. What can you tell us about some of your portfolio companies?
Yes, it's a very well balanced portfolio. So we have an investment in a legal tech company, and I have that brings up some of my background. We have made investment in crypto. We invested in a crypto wallet, and even though that crypto is not having their best quarter, right? I mean, still we believe that it's important to have it in our portfolio. We also invested in it's called She Matters, Mike, and basically what they're solving, it's the problem of women suffering of postpartum depression. That company is doing incredibly well, and basically they are educating hospitals and in healthcare facilities on how to deal with minority women suffering postpartum depression, and they already landed very big deals in the healthcare space, and they just closed their pre-seed round of $1.5 million. And we have the honor to be with that and to be part of that round. So we also invested in a estate planning company. It's providing, helping employers to make estate planning more accessible to their employees. And interesting, we also made an investment in a HR tech bereavement company. Again, making accessible bereavement benefits to employees. So, and we are working currently in about 4 deals that we are going to invest very shortly. So very diverse portfolio, well balanced, and we believe that, among those is the next female unicorn.
So, most, if not all of your partners have, operating experience. What's been the fund's involvement post investment with any of your companies?
So we try to provide a lot of access to our portfolio companies. One way that we've been very effective in terms of involvement, it's we kind of discuss what are the needs that they have at this stage, and after they raise their capital, the needs are not just capital. They need access to network. For example, we have facilitated pilot programs through our network, right? The ability that they can deploy the solution in different corporations. Also with the sourcing of the staff as they need to start hiring and those type of things. So, because it's about 65 LPs that we have in our fund, and we have about 500 in the fund global, about 500 LPs and operators. We can really leverage the power of the community to be effective in servicing the needs of our portfolio companies. And like I said, staffing, networking, and it's kind of the main needs, and even great advisors. So we try to also kind of be a good coach and advisor for our portfolio companies, in a way that we can add value to them.
You mentioned that you had like 250 applicants kind of right out of the gate when you first launched the fund, and you continue to get them every day. For those ones that, for lack of a better term, don't make the cut and don't get an investment, is there anything that you see consistently that's kind of preventing them from either being investable or at least investable by the fund XX?
Yeah, I mean that's a very good question. Of course, some of the deal flow, those are companies that we believe they are not venture backable. So, when you have a VC backing, a startup, they have to be in a path for growth so we can get the returns that we expect. But for the other ones, it could be that we already are too heavy in this type of, investments in the portfolio company. We are kind of like a heavy in H-Tech and HR Tech. So, sometimes we have to pass on deals because of that. And in the other, it's probably that it's a little bit outside our expertise, and we couldn't do proper diligence on that. But in any event, we try to connect the startup with some other funds or some other VCs or investors that we know that can be more added value to that particular company.
So, Gaby, you founded 2 successful tech companies, sold them. What made you decide to turn your attention to investing instead of starting another company?
Yeah, I mean, building companies is incredibly taxing. And so I did it twice. I did it for, about more than 17 years. So I was ready for a change. In my, after all these years, you accumulate so much knowledge, expertise, right? And you learn so much that I saw that there was a gap. How bring more tech female founders into the entrepreneurial ecosystem. And the way that I started, I was coaching and mentoring female and minorities entrepreneurs. And then I started writing checks, doing some angel investing. And that led me to the opportunity to really start my own fund. So it was not a thing like, okay, this is what I want to do, right? So it was a little bit of a transition. And after kind of like meeting my amazing partners, I said, this is, now I found it. And I think I did. So incredibly happy. But that doesn't exclude the opportunity, Mike, that I can start something new in the future, right? I think there is a builder inside that it's always aching. But right now it's, I think investing in the next generation of incredibly, women CEOs and founders, it's part of my goal.
Well, I think it's very important what you're doing, and it was great to talk with you. Thank you for sitting down with me today on DealTalk and sharing what's going on with the Fund XX.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.